The hard part of pruning is knowing where to make the cut. But let's say you figured that out and you want to cut right here. The next step is to know how to make the cut. And although that seems really simple, many of you are using these pruners incorrectly. And in the process, you're damaging your plant. In this program, I'm going to show you how to do it correctly. Whenever you're pruning trees and shrubs, you want to make sure you use a bypass pruner. They're going to do less damage than that anvil pruner. If you look at your bypass pruner, one side has a hook, that's solid. The other side is the blade, and the blade moves back and forth. If you look at your bypass pruner, it has two parts. It has a blade and it has a solid piece that we call the hook. The hook doesn't move, but the blade moves up and down. When this has a branch in it and we cut it, the branch gets pushed against the hook. The part that touches the hook will get damaged. The part that touches the blade won't get damaged, except of course it does get a cut. But the surrounding tissue around the cut is not damaged. So when I cut a piece of wood like this piece is not damaged and this piece gets damaged. So we want to make sure that this side of the pruner is always used for the piece of wood that we're getting rid of. The piece we're keeping needs to be on this side of the pruner. What that means is that the way you hold the pruner is important. So let's take this branch here. I want to take it off. So this is the part I don't want. The main stem is the part that I want. The way I would prune that is to take the pruners, have the hook on this side, on the waste side, and the blade right against the trunk. That way this part of the wood doesn't get damaged. Now I'm right-handed, so that was pretty easy, and it just is the natural way of cutting with these pruners. They're designed to cut this way. Now let's go to the other side. There's another branch here. We want to get rid of it too. If I hold the pruners the same way and simply go to the other side of the branch, I now have the hook next to the trunk. That hook is going to damage the trunk, so I have to turn my pruners over. Now I can literally turn them over and hold it like this, or I can turn my wrist and cut it this way. Either way works. If you're starting out pruning and you're just learning this technique, it's easier to actually turn it over for the other side. Once you get a little better at it, you'll get a little faster. So here's some more branches down here. The one on this side, I want the blade against the trunk. Then I can flip it over and cut this side. The one at the back here, I want the blade against the trunk, so I cut it this way. Now, of course, the other thing you can do is walk around the other side of the trunk. That works too, but it's a little slower. Now, if you're cutting the top off a branch, you're cutting the new growth away, then make sure, again, the blade is facing down, so it's near the cut that you want to preserve. Nothing to it, really. It takes a little bit of practice, and you kind of have to remember you have to do that. It slows you down on your pruning, but you're going to do less damage to the plant, so there's less chance of infection. So from now on, you're going to make all your cuts properly. You're not going to damage the good wood. With a little practice, turning this pruner back and forth so you're making it correctly is really easy. It's worth the effort. Now, if you'd like to learn more about pruning, when should you be pruning, and where do you make the cut, have a look at this video right here. It will introduce you to my pruning course that you'll find really interesting. If you'd like to do some experimentation and prune some topiary, now that's easier than you think. Have a look at this video right here, and I'll show you how I do my topiary. Happy pruning.